Hi friends, it's Chrissy. Welcome to or back to my channel. And this is the first actual deck installment of Chrissy's rehoming of decks. This is gonna be really hard for me. There's a variety of reasons that I'm doing this. Primarily it's because I'm not loving these decks that deserve love. I do personify my decks to some degree, and I have memories with them, and it kind of feels like I'm telling friends goodbye. But it's what I'm doing for as an appreciation of my process and an appreciation of tarot in general and an appreciation of these decks and the artist in specific. Although I will say the first round I did, I almost talked myself out of several, and these were decks that were in the without question, these are going to go stack. So we're not even into the hard choices. I will be releasing decks every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. The shop will close Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and anything that was purchased in that gap will be mailed out on Friday. I am doing US and Canada only at this point, but if you see something, if you're international and you see something, email me and we'll go from there. My plan is to film the intro and the outro. That's the word, right? The intro and the outro today, and then whatever, I'm going one deck at a time, putting the deck in order. Do I really want to part with it? Doing research, and then I'm recording one at a time, and they'll all get grouped together. So depending on how my week looks, there may be weeks where we have just a few decks and weeks where we have a lot. That is in no way staged or strategic. It's sincerely what I have time for. I have several cancellations on my schedule today, so I'm able to just sit down and do this for a couple of hours. So this is the first round of decks. They will go up for sale, whatever today is, whatever the Friday is. Don't ask me to math. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 23, 24, 25, 26, July 26th. And they'll be up for sale through the following Thursday. My plan is anything that doesn't sell to always relist, but prices may change if they're in, if they hang out for a few weeks. So let's get the first round started. I got a little ahead of myself. For each deck, I am doing, I'm putting each deck back in its original order, making sure all of the cards are there. Mostly tarot. There are a few oracle decks that I'm getting rid of. I'm researching most recent sell price and asking price for eBay and in a couple of buy-sell trade groups on Facebook. So I really am trying to price fairly for the most part. I'm just hoping to recoup some of my money. If it's available for sale, I'm asking considerably less than the current price. And they will be cleansed before they come to you. I'm doing that in a sound bowl, so you don't have to worry about any scents of any kind. I do have cats in my house, so if you have a cat allergy and if there is a wrap included and you don't want the wrap, let me know and I won't send it. I don't use smoke or the only decks that I have used essential oils with are decks that I am for sure keeping. Carnival at the End of the World, Drowning World. I think that's it. Maybe the original Somnia. I'm not sure. Anywho, let's get to the decks. There's a link, I hope I remember to put here, if not it'll be down there, to my website where I'm selling them. And yeah, let's look at week one. Okay, so we will not talk about how I have forgotten how to set my camera up, and that took much longer than it needed to. And we will also not talk about the fact that I did not record an outro, even though I said I was going to. So yeah, my actual outro probably won't match, but let's look at decks. So the first deck that I am rehoming is the Art of Adventure Tarot. I paid $53.11 for this deck on May 19th of 2023. I did purchase it from the creator. The listing on Amazon is a knockoff deck. The deck comes in a really nice thick box. I really wanted to like this deck. It has been shuffled less than 10 times. I think I shuffled it, did an introductory reading, and I think this was one of my last ditch efforts of staying in tarot when I felt it leaving when I felt my connection leaving. I feel like this was like one of those last straws. This will pull me back in. It feels very, I love this Hierophant. It feels very Futurama-esque to me. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I think it's fun. I think it's lighthearted without, while still, look at this, while still staying true to tarot. Six of Swords is my favorite, so I like to go there. What a beautiful card, where we have one figure in the hug of the other. I really like this deck. It's just not, it's not being used. So yeah, I'm asking $30 plus shipping for this deck. And this is the Art of Adventure Tarot. Next is another deck that I really, really wanted to reignite my tarot practice. This is Remembering the Sweet Fool. I bought this from the creator. This is deck 122 of, I'm not sure if that's 300 or 350. I purchased this deck for $75-ish USD. I didn't write down when. I want to say in December or January. I paid a total of $158 for the deck and all of the bits and bobs that came with it. The divining cloth and the charm bag, but I've repurposed all of those in my practice. So I want to say the deck and the accoutrement were about the same. So I paid, again, around $75 for the deck itself. It is currently $64.84 on Etsy. Again, really nice card box, a beautiful poetic guidebook to go ahead and read the Six of Sticks. It is the little steps that come together. Let me see this, come together. It is the little steps that come together, discovered over time, that delight full and elevate when aligned, to reveal a greater gift so precious and divine. It kind of feels a little bit like the guidebook to the Mesquite Tarot, which I love so much. Yeah, I am afraid of birds, kind of really afraid of birds. And I wanted to use this deck in 2024 as a way to just confront all of my fears. And if I'm confronting my fear of birds, what other fears can I confront? And I just haven't used it. It may have been shuffled. I'm not sure. When I pulled it out of the box yesterday, it was still in order. If it has been shuffled, it's been a handful of times. I know I didn't read. I don't think I even read with it. the pentacles are hills in this card, and look at that 3 of hills. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Like, as I'm flipping through it, I'm like, this is such a gorgeous deck. And it is such a gorgeous deck. But at the end of the day, I am not using it. Look at the 6 of points. And I'm also, my brain doesn't really work super well around when the suits are renamed, and that's just another roadblock for me in this deck. So yeah, this is Remembering the Sweet Fool. I paid $75 for it 6 months or so ago. It is currently on sale, for sale from the creator for $64.84. And I put that in upside down. And I am offering it for $40. The next deck is the Haptic Tarot. This is the most recent deck I purchased. I paid $78 for it earlier this month on July 5th. I wanted this deck to be a connector to my Reiki practice. I think it's a really good guidebook. I like both the keywords and the write-up. I'm always go right for the 6 of Swords, transition, journey, peace. Even though the waters of change might feel cold and unsettling, you will find yourself in a better place soon. What do you need to take with you, and what do you need to leave behind? It's possible to courageously move away from trauma, to seek a brighter future, and to heal your psychological wounds. It's just a beautifully done little guidebook. I wanted to love it. And some of the majors I really love. This is one of my favorite high priestesses. There's something so beloved about the book that she holds. I think it's beautiful. I really like, I think Strength is beautiful. The Hermit. I love the lantern. It reminds me of our inner great bright light. But there are things about this deck that I can't unsee. It was made with AI, but then corrected, I guess, is the way I understand it. And there are some cards that just fall really flat to me. And it is this combination of, I'm in awe of some of the cards, and other cards almost disgust me. Just from a logical, visual standpoint. I mean, there's nothing gross here, but some I just don't enjoy. I can't see past some of the AI issues. So yeah, it hasn't been shuffled at all. I mean, look at this 5 of Pentacles. It's a beautiful card. At the end of the day, I'm not using it. And it almost feels, for me, it almost feels like a failure. I wanted this to be something. I wanted this to reinvigorate. And instead, this is this is the card that created this choice of moving on. And actually, this is the deck, however, I mean, that actually inspired me to finally move some of these along. Just stunning. So yeah, this is the Haptic Tarot. I paid $78 for it. And all of the prices that I'm quoting are pre-shipping. This is just what I paid for the deck itself. $75 earlier this month, and I am asking $45. The Haptic Tarot. Next is the Tarot by Mr. Freiborg. Again, a deck that I so wanted to love. It has a tuck box. I paid $50 for this deck on February 5th of 23, and it is still for sale for $50 from the creator's website. I was trying really hard to connect with Marseille for a while. And I thought this deck is beautiful. Like this, I thought it would be, I just thought it would be useful. I think the backs are stunning. The guidebook has a high polarity and a low polarity meaning for each card. I was really into pips. I wanted to be really into pips, but the language barrier was honestly just something that I struggled with. I don't know that I ever shuffled this deck bridge. It was out of order, so I'm sure I shuffled it overhand. If it was shuffled, it was less than 10 times. There's no damage to any cards. They've been in the box the whole time. I'm really feeling this tendency to judge myself here. And like all of these, so many of these decks had held so much potential for me. There was such an assumption, such hope for each of these decks. And as much as it's challenging for me to talk about that as I show them to you, there's also a part that is freeing, knowing that they're going to move on. So this deck is currently still for sale for $50 at the creator's website, which is how I purchased it, and I am asking $30. Next is the Triomphe de la Luna, the Illustrated Pips edition in the Paradoxical Rose. I shuffled it, but that's all. It still has the 2 bonus cards included and the title card. I bought this for $50 on the creator's website on February 5th of 23. There is still one deck, a single copy, listed at the Deviant Moon website for $50. I'm asking $30 for my copy. It's been shuffled less than 10 times. It still has all of the, of course, what a beautiful temperance card. All of the devils. There's so many devils. There's a couple of different tower cards, several different tower cards, 2 different stars. There's nothing wrong with this copy of the deck. There's nothing wrong with the deck in general. The 6 of Cups, I really enjoy. I just didn't use it. It came at the wrong time in my tarot journey. But it's adorable. And like I said, there is 1 copy left on his website. And then I guess it'll be out of stock, out of print, out of whatever. Anywho, it is listed for $50 on the Deviant Moon website. I don't know if I saw it on the website or Etsy. It was on one of the 2. And I am asking $30 for my copy. So let's talk about this deck, because this deck is something different. The only time I have ever seen this deck, this is the Mio M's Tarot. The only time I've ever seen this deck is, honestly, there is a, like a bullet journaler, not a bullet journaler, I forget what she calls the style of journaling she has, but there is a journaler that I watch on YouTube, and this is the deck, the only tarot deck that she has. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, Chrissy, this is beautiful. And it is beautiful. But this is the bonus card, the title card. It's just not in my practice. The guidebook per se is in Japanese. And it's beautiful. It's definitely on the, I mean, there's blood here. The deck came with a sticker of the Emperor, which is on my husband's water bottle. It's just beautiful. I love the red string around the pinkies and the lover. Let's look at, so it uses hearts as pinnacles. Oh, look at the Ace of Cups. We'll just flip through and see a few. Like, if you can tell, it's oblong. It's a big deck. Look at that Queen of Cups. Like I said, yeah, so hearts for pentacles. You would think hearts would be cups, but they're not, because we have, wait, did I lie? We already had cups. Right. Whew. See, Chrissy doesn't do well if the suits are swished. But the 4 hearts and the chest is just beautiful. I'm having a harder time than I expected letting go of this deck. Never used it. It's never been shuffled. Look at the 6 of Swords. At the end of the day, I'm not using it. And at the end of the day, one of you may love it. This was not a cheap deck. I paid $120 for this deck on July 2nd of 2023. You can tell July is a big month for Chrissy to reevaluate and check her plans. And yeah, it is currently still available from the creator for $120. I'm trying to get close to my investment back, and I'm asking $100 for this deck. So this is the Mio M's Tarot. The next deck leaving my collection is the Black Violet Tarot, the Cherry Blossom Edition. And I'm sorry if I don't sound excited, because I'm not excited about this one. I love her. I love her. She is beautiful. She is my aesthetic, but I'm not using her. This was by far my hardest deck to price, because it feels ridiculous what she's going for. But it is what it is. So this deck is out of print. I wish you could feel the box. It has this nice, even though it's a little shiny, the feeling of the box is very matte. It's just beautiful. It came with a error card. There's a Page of Pentacles. It's actually the Page of Swords. And the guide, I usually just put the guidebook on top of it to keep them separated. This deck, what am I doing? It has been shuffled less than 5 times. The Cherry Blossom Edition, I think currently there's just a black and white edition available, but the Cherry Blossom is out of print. Like I said, I've had a really hard time pricing this. It is currently listed for $475 on eBay. The most recent sell prices that I could find were on Facebook buy sell trade groups, and there's a recent selling for $165 and another for $225. And I'm also, to be honestly, pricing it a little bit high, because I wouldn't be sad to keep it. Oh my gosh, look at this 10 of Pentacles. Oh. It's a stunningly beautiful deck. And I love when the 8 of Wands is left to be just very symbolic. I dig it. And look at the panther and the little kitten. on the Queen of Wands. So yeah, this is the Black Violet Tarot. I paid $70 for it on July 29th of 22. It is out of print, and I am asking $150 for it. That's the Cherry Blossom edition of the Black Violet Tarot. So if there are any decks in my collection that feel like absolute personal failure, it is it's a Spirit Keepers Tarot. This is the Revelation edition. This is deck 1280 of 3168. It's the second printing. This deck was attuned to the Order of the Warriors, if that's important to you. I paid $75 for this deck on January 16th of 2023. There's the card and the little magnet and the little guidebook. I did not purchase the Book of Spells with this deck. It has not been shuffled at all. When I got it, my husband pulled some cards out and scanned some copies of the ones he thought was cool, that I'm sure they're glued in his journal somewhere. So if they're not in the exact original order, that's why. The 4s may not be in the same order. The 7s, like within the numbers, may not be in order, but it has not been shuffled. I really wanted this deck to change things for me. I wanted this deck to take me deeper, to I wanted this deck to be something that it wasn't for me. And every time I open my tarot closet, it kind of looks at me like, I thought we were going to be friends. I'm actually excited to get rid of this one. Just because I feel like it represents some failure in my tarot study, in my tarot journey. And it deserves to be with someone who's going to love it and use it and not see it as, it's a beautiful card, not see it as a shortcoming. It's too beautiful, too meaningful of a deck to carry this sense of negativity around that it holds for me. And as a reminder, I will cleanse each deck with sound before it makes its way to its new home. Not smoke, not oil, but I'll just put it in my singing bowl and let it be cleared that way. So this is the second printing of the Spirit Keepers Revelation edition. I paid $75 for it on January 16th of 23. The most recent sale that I could find was $145 on eBay, and I am asking $130. So this deck is a hard one. This is Postcards from Liminal Space. I really enjoy this deck. It is not damaged anyway. It's linen, so it shuffles really well, but it is loved. The edges are not as crispy white as they were. They're just a little, I mean, I wouldn't call them dingy, but it's obvious, especially around the corners, that they have been used and shuffled. I use this deck a lot in moon circles. I'm getting lost in the deck. It's a really good oracle deck, and I've really gotten away from oracles for the most part. It's a great little deck. I was not aware in any way, shape, or form that this was a deck that people were looking for until I went researching. I bought it in July of 2020, and I think I paid like the $33 for it. I bought it when it was still in print. On eBay, it sold on There have been 2 that have sold this month. One was for $195 and the other was for $180, and I'm asking $150 for this deck. It feels ridiculous, but I also acknowledge that seems to be the going rate. So, I mean, less than if the going rate is $180 and $195 and I'm asking $150, yeah. So this is Postcards from Liminal Space. And then we have her sister. I was right the first time. Visions in the Liminal Space. This deck is still in print. This is a affordable option, an affordable sister to the deck. There's a guidebook that comes with it. This deck is $30. I'm sorry, is $50 new, and I'm asking $30 for it. So if the postcards seems, oh, I want that. This to me, honestly, I've always thought it read really similar. Show me your original face, the face you had before your parents were born. It's cards like that one that make me wonder, am I really ready to let it go? So there's an interesting story with this card. It is a bookmark that has gone back and forth in books of mine for years. I thought I had pulled it out of this deck, but it's still here. So I don't know where that came from, but I have a bonus one of those floating around my house. This is a great little deck. And I honestly don't use it. So yeah, this is the affordable little sister to Postcards from the Liminal Space. This is Visions in the Liminal Space, and I am asking $30. All right, so the Citadel deck. I have no idea what to ask for this deck. I may be way off in either direction, but this is the whatever the 6-sided shape is. This is I know there is the larger version that's available mass market, but this is the version that came with sickle and seed. A friend of mine and I split the cost, and I took this deck and she took sickle and seed. I have not been able to find anywhere a copy of this deck to have any idea what to sell it for. I'm assuming that it would have sold for at least $65 when it was new and in print. So I am going to guess $100 on this. I really don't know. I'm talking as I put the cards in in the right ways. Orientation, that's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, I don't know if 100 is way off for this deck in either direction, but that's where I'm going to start, and we'll amend if necessary. So this is the original indie Citadel deck, and I am offering it this week for $100. You're going to hear me say this a lot, but this one is really hard for me to part with. This is the Illis Tarot. So when I very first started reading tarot, I bought I really didn't start in the right place. I bought the mass market Wild Unknown. I bought the mass market Fountain Tarot, and I bought the indie Illis Tarot. I know that Christy has now rebranded it into the 90s Tarot. I love this deck, but I have never read with it. I flip through and look at certain pictures, but I have never read with it. I think this is the most clever guidebook I've seen in my whole entire life. It has been folded and unfolded 100 times by me, and it's still in fantastic shape. I'm going to have a hard time letting go of this one. And I'll show you a couple of whys right away. I mean, it's Ricky. And it's Fiona. And it is my girl. But I actually have a fantastic, one of the few things that I've ever watercolored that I was proud of was this card just in my journal one day. And I was like, oh my goodness, look at that. And then we have Kurt. And then for the Page of Cups, we have Angela. This deck is fantastic. It is, the minors are very pip. Like I said, I have flipped through it a lot, but it's been actually shuffled just a handful of times. It's in really good shape. It's never had any sort of significant use other than me flipping through it and saying, oh, isn't that pretty? So, most recently it sold for $125 on eBay, and I am asking $100 for it. So this is the Illis Tarot. So next up is the Body Language Tarot from Jessica Bott, and this one comes with a beautiful, gigantic guidebook that walks you through all of the symbolism of each of the cards. Like this puppy is dense. I can't find anything about this deck. I know there was a second printing not too long ago that I think may have been blackout instead of white background. I'm not sure. I know this edition is out of print, and I believe the black edition is out of print as well. I can't find any details on it. I can't find any recent sales. It's beautiful. I just never connected with it. I tried. I love the tattoos. I love the variety of yoga poses that we see throughout this deck as well. I just never jived with it. I want to be this person, but I just don't think that I am. I have no idea where to start with the pricing of this deck. So I'm going to, because it is out of print, and it is, because Jessica Bott is typically so highly sought after, I want to originally post it for $75, and we'll see what happens from there. So this was another one of the first decks that came into my collection. This is the Threads of Fate. I don't know what edition this is, but it's gold foiled, and I used it a lot in the moon circles, but it was really complicated for my own practice, and the bottom card gets stuck in the box typically. So for each card, it has a keyword, an animal, a crystal, and a plant, I believe. And they're not really organized super well. They're organized by elements, which isn't always obvious, I don't think. Like I just flipped through that like I wasn't even talking to you. I've forgotten how to do this. But yeah, it's a beautiful deck. You can tell it's got the, I'm so out of practice foiling. That's the word. Oh, it's got the shine on it. It's got the foiling on it. It's really a beautiful deck. It has been shuffled a lot. And for the type of deck that it is, it's It's the kind that tends to stick together. Again, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've recorded and talked about the qualities of decks. It shuffles pretty well for a deck of this size, but you can see how they clump together when you overhand. So yeah, this is the Threads of Fate. I paid $65 for it in on April 27th of 2019. I haven't been able to find a lot on this edition, so I'm going to try to get back what I paid for it, which is $65. Next, we have the Starseeker Tarot. This is an older edition. Let's see, do I know when I bought it? I paid $45 for it on March 19th of 21. So I don't know what edition it is, but it is whatever was purchasable in March of 21. The guidebook, I remember really liking. This was one of the first guidebooks that I actually sat down and read from beginning to end and felt like I started to make connections to the cards. So this one it really has a place in my heart as the deck that, or I started to see, and I started to see the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery in other decks. This one really was the one where I started to make that connection. This is one of the decks, again, it's that same rose petal, I believe, where it feels slick when you have one in your hand, but they really stick and clump together. It's not a bad shuffle if you're going to riffle, but it can be a challenging, look at that, 5 of Pentacles. It can be a challenging overhand just because of the type of the card. I paid $45 for this in March of 2021. There are newer editions available, and I am asking $30 for this copy. So this, friends, is the Starseeker Tarot. This is the Tarot of the Toiling Hands. I really like this deck. I just never got on with it. I bought it, let's see, I purchased it on July 22nd of 2022. It was very much a purchase of supporting an artist that was struggling during the pandemic. It's got a tuck box, a fold out guidebook, which I really enjoy, and then a little card of just how basic information on a tarot deck. I do want to just acknowledge that there is a bent card. I've shuffled this deck once when I got it out of the box, and I bent the card and I got mad, and I haven't been in it since. The 9 of Swords. I'm trying to give you you can see it's got a crease through the middle, the top third. So I just want to acknowledge that damage to the deck. Artistically, it's beautiful. I love the titles on the top. It's so, like, the line drawing is so intricate and it's so inspiring. I just sincerely bought it to support an artist during the pandemic. They are still for sale, and I bought it for $50. Her price for a damaged copy is $39, and I'm considering this deck damaged because of the 9 of Swords, and I'm asking $30 for it. So, I mean, look at this 9 of Wands. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. I thought about keeping it and coloring through it, but that just never happened. So this is the Tarot of the Toiling Hands, and I am asking $30 because there is a damaged card in the mix. got another Oracle deck. This is the spread deck. This is the first edition from 2021. I bought it for $39 on January 17th of 22. There is a new edition on their website that is now $40. I am asking $25. So there's the title card, instructions and tips. We've got the sun and the moon, which I really like. And then the deck. I used this quite a bit when I was teaching my first round of tarot school. I used this to develop the spreads, just to give me some creative juices for that process. I don't know why I just shuffled. It's a good shuffle. What I like about this deck a lot is you can lay out the spread that you want to do and then lay out the cards on top of it where you can see what the positions are in your spread. I just realized my camera's really crooked for this one, but I think that's a lot of fun to be able to say, like, for example, let's just throw out challenge, advice from spirit, and responsibilities. Now I'm questioning if I want to get rid of this. Then, like, you know, so then you put cards, whether it's tarot or oracle, on these, and you get clarity on the challenge, the advice from spirit, and what your responsibilities are. Just a neat little deck. I will go through real quick and put them all right side up. I thought I saw some upside down, but maybe I caught them already. Yeah, so this is the spread deck. New, it is $40, and I am asking $25. So this is one of my favorite decks. That was slick, Chrissy. This is the Lionscapes Tarot. This is one of the closest to a soul deck that I have. This is the new gen of version 1. I used the original version of the deck. This was a gift from my sweet friend Amy, and it is deck number 642 of 1,000 of this run. There's been several runs of this deck since then. The current one, I think, is thinner and gold, where this one has holographic glittery edges. I haven't shuffled it enough, honestly, to know if it comes off on your hands or not. I've shuffled it less than 10 times because I love my copy. And this deck comes with 3 bonus cards with sky, earth, and sun, and they're holographic and just beautiful. And this whole deck is holographic. This is the closest expression of how I see Reiki. I get pictures. I love it, but I'm so attached to my deck that I don't know that I have ever reached for the second generation. There are a few cards in this deck that I absolutely love. Death is one of them. I know I showed the Fool. I really like the 4 of Cups. It's just a beautiful deck. I'm just attached to an earlier version. Yeah, if I would never get rid of, I can't imagine when I would get rid of my copy of the original. So yeah, this there are several versions of this deck floating around. I guess this one was a gift, so I didn't pay anything for it. It is currently going for $59 on the website. Since this one is a different edition since this one is out of print, I'm going to ask for $50 for it. Yeah, I look at the Page of Wands with a little Christmas tree. Super cute deck. Means a lot to me, just not this edition in particular. So this is the, I've always thought it was Lionscapes Tarot, but I guess there's no S. This is the Lionscape Tarot. All right, friends, we've got 2 more, then we're stopping with this first round of 20. So next is the Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot. I really thought that this could be, for me, a counterpoint for be a similar spot as Tarot as Color, but it isn't. And Tarot as Color is my deck. So this is the backs. It's been shuffled a time or two, less than 10 shuffles. I'm sure the guidebook is still really inflexible. Comes in a beautiful purple, like a fabric box. If you grew up in a church, it's like how the hymnals felt. It's a good noise. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this deck. I really like it. I think it's beautiful. It's just, Tarot as Color just fills that spot for me. It has really nice keywords at the bottom. Yeah, it's a beautiful deck. And if it came to me at a different time, I'm sure we would have gotten along really well. But other than an intro spread, I don't know that I used it at all. I bought it last July, on July 13th, I'm sorry, July 3rd of 2023. I paid $60. It is now $65 new, and I am asking $45. So this is the Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot. Absolutely beautiful. Such a nice abstract deck. Just not needed for me. And finally, I'm excited about this one because not only is it the deck, but it's also the bag. So when there was the chaos with the Ritual Tarot last year, I bought a copy simply to support Tiara. This deck has not been shuffled. I literally got it out of the nondescript bag that it came in and put it in this lovely bag from our sweet friend Krista. She's still Crochet Witch Tarot on Etsy, but I know she's Krista Chronicles. I still keep up with Krista. So yeah, I paid $95 for the deck this time last year. I'm not sure what I paid for the bag, maybe 15 or so. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm asking 100 even for the deck and the bag. This is the version that doesn't have the titles of the card on it in any way. Yeah, we've seen the Ritual Tarot everywhere. I knew it wasn't my jam when I bought it, but as a deck creator myself, I wanted to support her in the drama, and I did. And I didn't expect it to be in my collection forever, but I also didn't expect to never ever use it at all. So this is, oh, come on, the Ritual Tarot in a Krista bag with adorable little pinnacles on the bottom. And the deck and the bag together, I'm asking 100. I remembered to come back and film an outro before I moved on for today. So all of these will be for sale on my website 8 o'clock Friday morning. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's any issue with the decks, I disclosed that at the time. I think the only card that's damaged in any deck that I have is in that one really cool tattoo deck that I bought during the pandemic. That's not on today's list anyway. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'm excited for these to make their way to you, and I'll see you again next week. Bye, friends.